All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. I'm just checking out the comment section just to see if we are officially live. Kindly tell me if my picture and sound is clear, or if my picture and sound is clear. And also just share with me where you're joining us from. Yeah, where you're joining us from. All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. Clear. All right. Let's see where are the comments. All right. Euphrasia Miti, good morning. Yes, Euphrasia Chikumbi Baram. Good morning to you. Margaret Chewa. Margaret, good morning. Morning. All right, great. Kindly tell me, guys, is my sound okay? Rhoda Mambungu. It's a very unique surname, eh? Mambungu. What tribe is this? Sounds very unique to me. Rhoda Mambungu, good morning to you. Kaolo Charles, all right, great. Can someone confirm if the sound is clear? All right. Angela Gondwe confirms that it's clear, very clear. Munyanyembe Rogers also confirms that. So I welcome you all to today's session. We are on day 15 of 40, where we are taking time to focus on that which matters, focusing on our goals, on our dreams, and shining away from things that distract us so that we can do the best that we can. So for those that are joining in for the first time, you are welcome. We tend to meet every morning here, except in a very special case when I'm not around or I am incapacitated to go live. But you can always look out for the live session in the morning. So I would encourage you to tag your friends, share the post, so that many others could see what is obtaining. And just to give a quick recap, I think there was so much talk yesterday about the video that I shared on turning down 9.4 million. People had mixed views around it. Others had many thoughts around it. But well, it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. And like I did indicate afterwards, that I do not regret turning that down because there's something that I stand on, and that offer was not related to what I stand on. So welcome to today's session. So today's session, I just thought of sharing something from the past. So let me give the preamble to this. I want to share the saddest day of my entrepreneurship journey. The saddest day of my entrepreneurship journey, and I'll share why it was the saddest day of my entrepreneurship journey thus far. Because, well, you may never know. Maybe there might be worse days coming through. But I'll share on my saddest day in my entrepreneurship journey. And the reason why I have decided to share this story is because one person was indicating with me how things are bad for them and the losses that they faced and the things that have happened in their life, and they felt like giving up and whatnot. So I thought, hey, listen, let me share a certain story, which is way before I even got on social media, way before I was even known. So this is the story which is 2014 is like 11 years ago. It happened 11 years ago. I got on social media about 8 years ago. That's when I first got on social media, really. So 11 years ago is a story that I'm going to share with you. So my saddest day in my entrepreneurship journey. Let's get down to it. Growing up in the village, I had a dream. Whilst playing with wire cars, I had a dream of owning trucks because, would play around with wire cars, and at one time I had this truck made out of wires. For those that know that kind of life and those kind of toys that you'd have wires and have mangishi and whatnot. So it was my dream that I truly wanted to own trucks as I grew older. So fast forward, I got to secondary school, got into a pamphlets business, photocopying pamphlets at City Market, got to the village, opened a kiosk, and then I was about 15 years old. From then on, began buying and selling goods around 15, 16. When I got done, began importing things from Botswana when I was around 17. Then later on, South Africa when I was 18, turning 19. Then at 20, founded a software company with two other friends, a company called Glad Tidings Software Limited. And we have a school management system called Glad Tidings School, which, by the way, is the most used school management system in the country to date. Just check, to date. Just go to most of the schools. Go to Hillcrest, go to, what are these schools? Just go to most of the secondary schools, then ask the kind of software that they're using for their report cards, timetabling, and whatnot. You will see my footprint there. So did that software with that software company with two other friends, which then gave me the breakthrough. So when we got the breakthrough, I decided then to fulfill my childhood dream. And that was when I was around 22 thereabout. I get into 23. So I decided to invest in transport business. So I registered a company. That was the first time there was DLN. So I registered a company called DLN Zambia Motors. And I bought the first truck, a white Mercedes-Benz Artego. I'll request my team just to show it if they have access to it. A Mercedes-Benz Artego, bam! The young boy has a truck. Excited young man. Then from then on, moved to the green Mercedes-Benz Artego. Then from then on, moved to the Volvo FS12s. I mean, we are talking about the truck and trailers, you know, the big trucks. So I was a happening young guy, and most people couldn't believe, and I love sharing this story, that most people couldn't believe that a young person could actually own such trucks. I mean, I'm just a 23-year-old, and I had such trucks. And at that point, actually, people didn't know much about me. Remember, I was not on social media. In fact, I had no intentions for social media. I was just a young guy who was hungry, who wanted to achieve exceptional things, who wanted to be super rich and whatnot. So all was well, and I love sharing this story. One time at Kabango checkpoint here, one of my drivers had trouble with the traffic cops, and they called for the owner. When I got at the checkpoint, the moment the traffic officer saw me, he shouted at my driver saying, "Iwe nakuza titana bene bake, not mwana wa bene bake." Why? Because he just couldn't believe that a young guy could own. Oh, interpretation. When he said nakuza titana bene bake, not mwana wa bene bake, it means I told you to call the owner of the truck, not the son to the owner. Why? Because he just could not believe that a 23-year-old could own such big trucks. And if you looked at my trucks, by the way, you will notice that on top they were written DLN. Those are my initials, Dumisani Ncube. Then in front, they would be written Lingamangali, which is my middle name. By the way, Lingamangali means don't be surprised. So all was well. I was feeling it. I was feeling on top of the world. So we had the software company, you know, running with my friends, and now I had my own thing, you know, with the trucks. I was a happening guy, happening 23-year-old. Then the unthinkable got to happen. And by the way, as a pusher, I got to win very good contracts with FRIA. And I remember it is in the industrial area, and I was given the contract to ferry maize from Siavonga, bringing to Kafue. They had a shed in Kafue. I don't know whether they still have it. So I was hitting Siavonga, Kafue. And, you know, the happening guy, you know. Then I remember on a bad day, on a very bad day, I would make a 10,000 kwacha on a bad day. When business has been very bad, 10,000 kwacha every single day. for a 23-year-old from the transport business. All was well until on the 24th of August 2014, the unthinkable happened. One of my newly added trucks was involved in a tragic accident. The truck flipped. It was nasty. It was messy. It was just bad. When I received that call that the truck had flipped, I just couldn't believe. I drove to site, saw the wreckage that was there, saw how things were. In fact, before getting to site, people had been moved to Kafue General Hospital. A very painful sight. Now, this accident had so much attached to it. So much attached to it. Number one, the driver had loaded 8 unauthorized passengers who were badly injured. I praise God that no one died in that accident scene, but people were badly injured. So if you see certain images, there's one where we literally had to axe the truck. It was upside down. We literally had to cut the metals just to remove people who were trapped inside. And these people were badly injured. That was one. So after the accident, some of these people wanted compensation, and some were demanding as much as 350,000 kwacha compensation. And these were unauthorized passengers. The driver just loaded them in. Number two, I was ferrying government maize. I had over 600 bags of government maize. At the accident scene, whilst people were trapped inside, a number of people were looting bags of maize. So if you see certain images on this scene, you see just a few bags. It was less than 100, possibly 70 bags of maize that remained. The rest looted. And what is even painful, I won't mention where that vehicle belonged to, but I do remember getting to the accident scene, and this Land Cruiser, the blue Land Cruiser with a number plate, if I mention the number plate, but it has just 2 letters. Well, for those that know, you know. These are people that should be protecting us. But at the back of that Land Cruiser, I saw some bags of maize. Maybe it was coincidental, but I can only assume that they too blessed themselves with the loot. Now, this is so painful because this is a tragedy. People are supposed to be there to help the people who are crying for help, who are trapped in the cabin. But other people are looting bags of maize. Very unfortunate on how people can be heartless. That was the second thing. So the first thing is that people are injured who needed compensation. I've lost government maize, over 500 bags of government maize. Number 3, I had gotten 22 tires on a post-dated check with the hope that, I'll pay afterwards. And of course, at that point, I was a bit low on cash. And the reason I was low on cash, it was because I was running this contract, this government contract. And for those of you that know how these contracts run, you sort your own fuel, you sort your own logistics. Because you have the contract, you'll be paid, of course, at a later time. So in a similar case as well, I'd gotten tires on a post-dated check. And finally, foolishly on my end, I had undervalued the cabin and the trailer was on third party. So in short, it was just as good as I'd not insured the truck. So everything just got to be a loss. Now, I had people to compensate. I had people to pay for the tires that they had given me. I had people to pay for the fuel that they had actually advanced to me. Then I approached FRA then to say, okay, pay me for the loads that I have done so that I can sort out the pressure that I have on my table. And they said, no, we lost our maize in the thing, so let us see how we can sort that out. I said, okay, listen. Value the load, those 500 bags that have been lost. Value them, then from what you're supposed to pay me, deduct that, then pay me the difference so that I can handle the pressure that I have. I have so much pressure, and you're just a 24-year-old, so much pressure in my head, so much happening, and you don't have money. So they said, no. Let us write a letter to whoever that they needed to write to and whatever. So money wasn't coming through. And I had to make the painful decision of getting on to sell, the trucks. Got on, sold one to the people that actually own Jordan Motors. I think they got something. The Atanga family got one of the trailers, and so I sold off everything, and I remained with one truck afterwards, which I later sold in 2015, and that marked the closure of my transport company. It was a painful thing. It was a childhood dream. I had the dream. I was living my dream. I was making it big. I was doing exceptional things, and I was a liquid guy. In fact, even here where we are, at the office, this office was built by the transport business in 6 months. I was a liquid boy. But everything crumbled down by one decision. A driver who was drunk, negligent, overspeeding, messed me up completely. That was a very painful day. When I look back, it still hits me with a pinch of salt. And of course, 3 months later after the accident, I founded DLN Technologies, which I'll share on tomorrow, how I picked up from that point, how the twist was. Of course, DLN Technologies is the company that some of you know, we manufacture your driving licenses. We supply machines that personalize your ATM cards. It is the company that almost all the universities in Zambia use our machines, or the machines that we supplied to produce your identity cards. So that is the company that was founded 3 months later. But at that point, that was the end of my entrepreneurship journey. But here's the lesson that I want you to pick from all this. When you make losses, don't give up. You can rise again. I did rise. You can rise too. Don't relent. Don't lose hope. You can pick yourself up. It is possible. I have seen it. And all these things happened when there was no social media, when there was no presence on social media. So when I see sometimes most people talk about, the conferences, I just do Africa Must Think. There was life way before Africa Must Think. In fact, I was a reasonably successful entrepreneur long before Africa Must Think. Africa Must Think came in 2018, 2019, and what I've just shared was in 2014. I was a young, hungry, ambitious entrepreneur. For today, I just thought of sharing with you my saddest day, and just to encourage someone to say, I've gone through the downsides of entrepreneurship and I've managed to rise. And I would love to encourage you too to say, hey, don't lose hope. You too, you can rise. May God bless you. This is the message from the Radical Entrepreneur. See you tomorrow as we share exceptional things and interesting things. And by the way, I hope you are ready for the Africa Must Think, which is slated for the 14th of September, 6 weeks from today. Secure your ticket from today. Secure your ticket today from any ShopRite outlet and be part of this huge gathering where we share great ideas, we interact with exceptional people. Let us meet on the 14th of September. Encourage your friends, encourage your family members. Entrepreneurship conferences have the way of allowing you to interact with like-minded people, to share interesting ideas and see how we can position ourselves for greatness. Do not allow yourself to miss this particular one. You may have missed the previous ones, but the 5 edition is an exceptional one. We are breaking boundaries. Grab your ticket today or call 0975 765736. May God bless you. I am an African thinker. Stay blessed.